Once upon a time, in the land of Judah, there lived a king named Asa. He was a very special king because he loved God with all his heart. When Asa became the king, many people in his kingdom were not following God's ways. They had forgotten about the one true God and were praying to statues made of wood and stone. King Asa knew this was wrong. He decided he would lead his people back to the right path, the path that followed the loving God who had always cared for them. Asa was very brave. He went all through the land of Judah and told his people to stop praying to the idols. They broke the stone idols into tiny pieces and chopped down the special poles made for the false goddess Asherah. King Asa wanted everyone to remember God's rules. He taught them to obey God's laws and to worship only Him. One of the hardest things King Asa had to do was to correct his own family. His grandmother, Maacah, had been the queen, but she had done something very wrong. She made a terrible, ugly idol for the false goddess Asherah. When King Asa saw it, his heart was sad, but he knew what he had to do. He could not let his own grandmother lead the people in the wrong direction. So, with great bravery, he told her she could no longer be the queen. Asa then took the ugly idol his grandmother had made. He had it chopped down into little bits of wood. Then he had it burned in a big fire in the Kidron Valley, until it was nothing but ashes. This showed everyone that King Asa was very serious about following God. Because Asa was so brave and did what was right, God was very happy with him. Asa's heart was fully committed to the Lord all of his life, and he wanted his people to love God just as much as he did. Because King Asa followed God and taught his people to do the same, something wonderful happened in the land of Judah. There was peace. For many long years there were no wars to fight. The people did not have to be afraid of enemies coming to attack their homes. They could plant their gardens. They could build their houses. They could watch their children play without worry. Asa told the people, "We have this peace because we have looked for the Lord our God. We have searched for him, and he has given us rest on every side." During these peaceful years, King Asa did not just sit and do nothing. He knew it was important to be prepared and strong, so he built up the cities of Judah. He made their walls tall and strong. He put up towers. He put up gates with strong bars to keep everyone safe. He also trained a big army of brave soldiers from the tribe of Judah. He trained soldiers from Benjamin. These soldiers had large shields to protect them. They had sharp spears. They had bows and arrows to fight with. Asa made his kingdom strong on the outside. He had already made it strong on the inside by trusting God. Then one day, the time of peace was broken. A huge army came to fight against Judah. It was led by a man named Zerah the Cushite. Zerah's army was enormous. It had 1,000,000 soldiers. It had 300 chariots. When King Asa looked out and saw this giant army, he knew his own soldiers were not enough to win. He could have been very scared. He could have given up. But Asa did not do that. He remembered the one who was more powerful than any army in the world. He remembered God. King Asa fell to his knees and prayed a powerful prayer. He called out to God, "Lord, there is no one like you to help the powerless against the mighty." Asa put all of his trust in God. He believed that God was strong enough to save them. He knew that with God on their side, they could not lose, no matter how big the enemy army was. God heard King Asa's prayer. As the two armies prepared for battle, God fought for Judah. He caused Zerah's army to become confused and scared. King Asa's soldiers charged forward with great courage, and the giant Cushite army ran away. Asa and his men chased after them and won a great victory. They brought back many treasures and were safe once more. Everyone celebrated because they knew God had saved them.
The Lord is with you when you are with him. If you seek him, he will be found by you.
But many years later, King Asa faced another enemy. This time it was King Baasha from the nearby kingdom of Israel. Baasha began to build a wall to block the city of Jerusalem so no one could go in or out. This time, Asa did something different. He forgot to pray and ask God for help first. Instead, he had an idea of his own. He took all the silver and gold from the Lord's temple and his own palace. He sent this treasure to another king, the king of Aram, and asked him for help. He trusted a human king more than he trusted God to save him. The king of Aram took the treasure and agreed to help. He attacked King Baasha's cities, which forced Baasha to stop building his wall around Jerusalem. It seemed like Asa's plan had worked. He had stopped his enemy, but God was not pleased. He had helped Asa defeat 1,000,000 soldiers before, so he could have easily helped him again.
Because you have relied on the king of Aram and not on the Lord your God, you have made a big mistake.
This message made King Asa very angry. He did not want to hear that he had done something wrong. Instead of listening and saying he was sorry, Asa became furious. He had the wise seer, Hanani, arrested and put in prison. Near the end of his life, King Asa became very sick. He had a terrible disease in his feet that caused him a lot of pain. It was another chance for him to turn back to God and ask for help. It was a chance to remember how God had saved him from the giant army. But Asa's heart was still proud. He had forgotten how to trust. Instead of praying to the Lord for healing, he only went to the doctors. He put his trust in what people could do for him instead of trusting the all-powerful God. He missed another chance to see God's wonderful power. Even though Asa made these sad mistakes, his story does not end there. When we look at his whole life, we see something very important. For most of his years as king, Asa's heart truly wanted to do what was right. He loved God. He bravely led his people to follow him. He cleaned the land of ugly idols. He brought many years of peace and happiness to his kingdom. He prayed one of the most powerful prayers in the whole Bible. When King Asa died, the people of Judah were very sad to lose him. They gave him a special burial. They honored him for the good things he had done. The Bible remembers him as a good king. His story teaches us a very important lesson. It shows us that nobody is perfect, not even a great king. We all make mistakes sometimes, but what matters most to God is a heart that tries its best to follow him. King Asa is remembered not for his mistakes, but for being a king who, for most of his life, truly loved God. And that is why we still tell the story of King Asa today. He was the brave king who trusted God. He teaches us to be brave. He teaches us to do what is right. He teaches us to always ask God for help first. Even when we make mistakes, we can learn from them and turn our hearts back to God just like King Asa should have done. His life shows us that a heart that seeks God is a heart that God will always remember and love. He was a good king. He was a brave king. He pointed his people toward heaven.